Back in Edmonton, it's the third game on the second day of the 2022 World Junior Hockey Championship as the United States takes on Switzerland. Group B action, the USA opened with a 5-1 win over Germany. Switzerland lost a narrow one, 3-2 to Sweden. That one came right down the wire. Referees are Adam Blosky from Canada, Sirko Hunius of Germany, the linesman Andreas Hofer from Germany, and John Ray from the United States. And again in this tournament, you get officials that work their country's games. It's happened a couple of times so far here. Caitlin Burko gets to start again for Team USA, allowed 1 goal and just 11 shots against Germany. Plays for Lincoln in the USHL, will be going to Colorado College next year. And the goalie for Switzerland is Kevin Pash. Played for Omaha in the USHL, so familiar with some of these American players. There's head coach Nate Lehman for the United States, trying to guide his team to back-to-back gold medals in the World Junior for the first time in U.S. history. Marco Beyer behind the bench for Switzerland for his second World Junior, former head coach of Clunton and Burns Junior program.
And here we go. Let's get ready and go.
And with that one away, Luke Hughes sends it down to the Swiss zone. Switzerland's the home team, has the last change. Dario Allensbach waiting for it. Forward, low feeds it across, and Mazur with a quick shot. And Carter Mazur turned away by Kevin Pash.
And all the top teams, Gordon, talked about building as the tournament goes along, getting better, improving. But I thought of amongst the favorites in Sweden, Finland, Canada, US probably played the best in their first game. They were dominant against Germany in their first game, showing a ton of speed throughout their lineup.
I'm going to venture this is the first World Junior game we've ever done where both goaltenders played their club hockey in the state of Nebraska. Lincoln and Omaha. That long shot is gloved by Umberko.
I'm thinking you're right there.
Might be the first game, period.
But the USHL League, they do have teams all in the Midwest, and
yeah,
some well-supported teams. And some of those towns like Des Moines, like Lincoln, they do kind of come out and really get like 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 people at some of those junior games. Like college-like atmosphere.
Berard, rink wide pass too far for Dominic James, but he negates the icing by streaking in there. Drop back off to Maki Selaskevich. That long point shot goes wide from Truscott, and Truscott races back up to keep it alive at the line. Knocked back out and flipped back down to the American zone by Yoel Henry. Wyatt Kaiser plays at Minnesota Duluth in the NCAA. Tries it chipped down ahead. Berard back on it, and it skips by Kaiser. Switzerland, as James Duffy has mentioned, has given teams scares over the years. Last week, PB2 was a 3-1 win by the United States, a 3-2 win rather. But that was back in 2017. They haven't met in the last 5 years.
The challenge for Switzerland is that they check and skate really well, but they haven't always had the high-end finishing to close out some of those near upsets.
Right. Sure, first overall pick a couple of years ago.
Well, when Yossi's not bad, Kevin Fiala, they have some high-end players.
They used to check you to a standstill. Their domestic league was very defensive.
And I love the fact that as a country, they decided, you know what, we don't want to play that way.
Nice, centers that. Is back to Ian Moore at the point. Moore shoots. And that's blocked by Fabian Ritzman. Noah Delmont had that skip away. And batted back out by Bachler. And icing called against the Swiss. Their only medal in this tournament came back in 1998 in Helsinki. They were relegated back in 2008. Won promotion back in 2010 and have been in the top division ever since.
They have a very strong domestic league.
Yes.
And some of the best hockey in Europe is played in Switzerland.
And some of the best attended.
Absolutely. A lot of the best import players are drawn to the life and the games in Switzerland.
Joe Thornton played there in the lockout in 94, 95, or 04, 05 rather, and fell in love with it. Still goes back in the summer. Faber shoots it wide.
Question, is he going to go play there again?
Yeah.
He always said he was going to finish his career playing a little bit in Switzerland.
Slager chips that back in. Landon Slager plays it around. It's picked up and moved out by Sterling. Here's Faber with it. Rock Faber winds his way in. The American captain plays it back around. The Swiss, perhaps better than any country we've seen, use that model where they shorten the game. There's a lot of good goaltending over the years. With that long shot by Kaiser, they stopped by Pad.
Well, they've had a long time they've played as the underdog against the top teams, so they're used to kind of defending, bending but not breaking, relying on your goaltender, and being comfortable playing in your own end. And especially for younger players, that's not an easy thing to do. That's when players get a little turned around in their own end. Switzerland has the ability to stay a little bit more organized than most.
Knocked down by Giancarlo Chanton. Plays that back to center ice. Jacob Truscott goes back. Back across to Kaiser. That's picked off. Kanak shoots, and that's blocked in front by Durand. Simon Kanak, the Swiss captain, playing in his third World Junior. That doesn't count the Christmas tournament. And passed the job with a quick shot. The save made by Pad. Big hit in the corner.
Pass there.
Right at Durand. Hammered down. Rodwin Dionicio. Allen Spock works in for Switzerland. Big three by Truscott. And back at the point, Liz Kanak. Long shot, and that's gloved by Umberko.
Sometimes you got to take a hit to make a play, and coming around the boards, you got to open up, spot the guy in front. Yeah, it's a big hit by Durand, but a little pop pass to the guy right in front, queued up almost a near 3-on-2. So make sure to stay on your feet. It's okay to explode upward through a check, but you want your feet to leave the ice after contact, not before. Fourth line trying to get some energy going for the U.S.
They played their big guys a ton in that game against Germany, the 5-1 win. Rick Hughes played 5 more minutes than any other American player.
Felt like he could have probably played 7 or 8 more than that without any trouble.
Samoskevich works in. Along with James, Samoskevich falls. The puck loose in the corner. The country Switzerland's given fits to more than anyone is Canada. You think about the 06 Olympics, the shutout win in Torino, the shootout in Vancouver in 2010 that Canada won. Berard plays it in, World Championship. Swiss have given Canada a tough time. Logan Cooley picks off that pass at center ice. In comes Cooley. Look back for Hughes, that pass is picked off. And moved out by Zanetti. Faber back on it. Drops that back to Hughes. Hobie Baker finalist is the top player in U.S. college hockey last year as a freshman. That bounces off Hughes. Played back in front. Rolling puck. It bounces back and it's hammered wide by Bachler. Good chance there for the Swiss. And now Faber back with it. Lays it ahead for Cooley. He's got Nyes with him. That's knocked down at center ice by Chanton. Nicolette plays it back in. And Bachler has it taken away by Coronado. Up for Nye. Nyes, the Toronto second-round pick, drops it off. Cooley works in, has some time. Cooley walks right in. Crisscrossing with Nyes. Nyes in behind the goal. Out the glass it goes, and it's drawn out by Lilian Garasu. That's knocked away from Defoe, who plays for St. John in the Quebec Major Junior League, the Memorial Cup champions. And here's Nyes at the end of his shift. Goes ahead to Kaiser. In comes Kaiser, drops that back off for Mazer. Mazer walks in and shoots. Lifts that high. Allen Spock. Punched there by Mazer. And it's played back for Delamont. Delamont. Up for Connaught. In stride is Farney working in. The puck skipped over his stick.
Barons was caught flat-footed, was in trouble. on the rush.
Joshua Farney came bursting in there. Plays in the Swiss National League, the top league, and 11 of these Swiss players have spent time this year in the top Swiss league, which is one of the better leagues in Europe.
They play, but how much do they play?
Right. Only a handful of regulars.
Right.
Farney, good pass ahead to Canuck. And Canuck back with it. Walks it and shoots. That tip wide by Farney. Hit there by Graf, forced the puck free. Loose puck picked up by Tyler Cleven, the Ottawa Senators' second-round pick out of the University of North Dakota. Barons. Now Passage-Job with it. In comes Passage-Job walking in, shoots at a sharp angle off the shoulder of Pash, and quickly back the other way is Yoel Henry. Great pacer in the first period. Poked ahead by Hunter McCown. Settled down by Henry. He turns it over. Hughes with a shot. He fires that wide. And the puck bounces back down to the American zone. Duran chips it back down. Bianicio plays it back around. Nicolette quickly ahead for Bachler. And racing ahead is Fabian Ritzman. Ritzman gets loose behind the American goal. A centering pass, bouncing puck. And then Burko hangs on to that. A couple of close chances for Switzerland. A scoreless first period here in Edmonton as you see the Batart Conservatory on the south side of the river.
Just missing the post. Great look at it there. Not wide by much. Turned the intermission on the American bench. Nate Liebman was saying, we want to get physical. We need to get pucks in deep, start banging some bodies around. So we're trying to play a little bit more direct game and get engaged physically on the forecheck was the message for the U.S.
Hughes backhands it back around after the face-off win by James. Samoskevich gloves that down and moves ahead. Had his pocket picked by Allensbach, and the play's offside. As Allensbach and Samoskevich get tied up in front of the Swiss bench.
That's close. A couple of sticks riding up on Samoskevich. Almost took that one up in the neck area. Allensbach close to getting a little too high there. Coming with the cross check, but yeah, that gets up there.
Yeah.
Got to be in control of your own stick.
Allensbach played for EV Zug in the Swiss League last year. They won the Swiss League Championship, their second straight, in spectacular fashion as Hughes puts that high a little bit wide.
Keep going, move it.
They were down 3-0 in the series, in the championship series, the best of 7 to Zurich. Playing in Zurich in Game 4. In the morning of the morning skate, the Zurich game operations crew did a rehearsal for what would happen if they won the championship.
Where are the champions playing?
Well, they had the music playing, the ribbon banners, the scoreboard, all of it. While the Zook players looked on. Some of the Zook players took selfies with it, posted on social media. They won Game 4 and came back and won the series, the first ever to come back from 3 games down to win.
It's bad karma. Put that out there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I believe in inspiring other people or bulletin board stuff, but
I believe in annoying other people. And Quinn or Luke Hughes does that. Just a little taste of what he can do. Watch the lateral movement here. He's got a good angle. Allensbach, he's going the wrong way. All of a sudden, Hughes with like a subtle little shoulder fake. He's got his own entry, drives it wide, puts a shot in on net. He didn't do anything. He just gave a little shimmy shake, and he was gone.
It's hard to describe the year he had at Michigan. He led all freshmen in scoring. He led all defensemen in scoring. I mean, it was just an astonishing year. He had 17 goals, 39 points in 41 games as a 17-year-old freshman.
Kobe Baker finalist as a freshman defenseman?
As a 17-year-old. A lot of freshmen in the NCAA are 20. Sealer shoots, that deflects around. It's astonishing.
Yeah.
Spitting and shooting is Kevin Nicolette, and the save made by Umberko.
You know, obviously, Luke has a lot of advice to draw from his family, from his brothers about what the next steps are, when he will be ready to get to the NHL, when he should go to New Jersey.
His mom, Ellen, played in the U.S. Women's World Championship team. His dad, Jim, a longtime scout and hockey executive. The Hughes brothers played some minor hockey in Toronto.
I wonder if Jack's experience in New Jersey, where he's shown great flashes, but has grown into the NHL while physically still growing.
Right.
Gives Luke, maybe pause. Don't rush it because it's tough when you're here.
Well, it's tough for defensemen, too. It's way harder for defensemen.
Yeah. I mean, still just hockey. Everyone gives deep pass all the time. 200 games before you can even figure it out. I'm like, I don't know. He's going to be special when he gets there, though, whether it's
How old were you when you made your NHL debut?
I was 22.
Thank you.
I was also not drafted in the top 5.
A glaring oversight on the part of the scouting community, to be sure.
Yeah.
However,
all 28 teams, however many they were back then.
3 times.
3 times. Fooled me once.
Clevin plays it back around to Moore. Here's Duran with it. Shots 5-3 Switzerland here in the early going. It was scoreless first period. This is
what they do. Exactly.
This is what the Swiss game was, or the Swede game was like.
Yep.
That game was scoreless until late in the second period.
And the shots were basically even through the whole first period, because what you'll see with Switzerland is red jerseys back above the puck all the time. They are very disciplined in protecting odd man rushes.
Red Savage picks that free. They work it back in front. That skipped away. Passes down. Moved down by Berard. Brett Berard winds across the top. In comes Berard. One of 4 returnees from the gold medal winning team in 2021 in this building in the bubble. Kanak picks off that pass. Moves ahead along with Farney. In comes Kanak. Walks it and shoots. And the stop is made in tight by Umberko. Another good scoring chance for Switzerland. The captain, Simone Kanak, former Portland Winterhawk, comes streaking in. It's still lowest scoreless game in Switzerland and the United States.
Their teammates defensively, and if you get frustrated, if you try to press, if you start going high risk,
right, you're playing
decisions,
you're playing right into their hands,
right where they want you to go.
Face off, won by James again. Loose puck picked up by Truscott. Lead pass to James. Trailing back was Yoel Henry to break that up. Moves it back across the Graf, but that goes off the stick of James. Up and out of play. Well, coverage of the FedEx Cup playoffs begins Saturday. Newly crowned Open champion Cameron Smith competes against #1 world-ranked Scotty Scheffler for the prize of the St. Jude Championship. Catch third round action 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on TSN and CTV2.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I want to tune into that. Things got a little heated.
Got a little chippy today on the golf course.
Scotty Scheffler not respecting Cam Smith's line, and maybe having some thoughts on where everyone's playing next year.
Coronado a quick shot. That's gloved by Pash.
You don't expect golf to get chippy. We expect hockey to get chippy, but
it's like Happy Gilmore. We're going to get some beefs on the golf course.
Listen, stir it up. Here's another example of Pash. Catches on the wrong side, so as a shooter, your instincts take you to the opposite sometimes.
Coronado fires again. Catching with your right hand is not the wrong side, not the wrong way. You're just doing that to annoy me now.
You're my dad. He's a lefty.
Oh, that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a long shot. Bounces back in front. Nice with a chance. That's blocked. And banked out by Chanton. It is unusual, though, that I think about 10% of the population is left-handed. So right-handed catchers would be a left-handed person.
Yeah.
But far fewer than 10% of goalies are right-hand catchers. Quick shot by Nyes and a good stop there by Pash. And a penalty coming. And it's going to go to the U.S. A high sticking call to Logan Cooley will send Switzerland to the power play here with 7:35 to go in the period.
One of the best offensive sequences in zone for the U.S. gets stopped as Logan Cooley picks up a high stick.
USA 18, minor penalty, high stick.
never like doing that, taking one in the offensive zone. So Switzerland goes to the power play, trying to open the scoring. He's battling for position and just gets a little too high, shoving the chin and enough to draw the penalty.
Switzerland did not score on 5 power play chances against Sweden.
It hurt them so badly, especially early. They played so well, drew the power play. Sweden was sleeping, and then they got the power play, and they were less effective at 5-on-4 than they were at 5-on-5.
Right. Farney slides ahead to Allensbach. Allensbach taken down by Faber in the corner.
Nicely done by Faber. The hit, the stick, and then the footwork to get it out of there.
Riley Duran works it out, feeds it back down to the Swiss zone. Americans allowed a power play goal on the only attempt Germany had in that game the other night.
It doesn't even feel like a power play goal because it was a 1-against-4 and Szymanski walked through everybody. Right. It wasn't a system breakdown. It was a crazy individual rush that generally doesn't happen.
Now a steal by James in the penalty kill. It is odd that Switzerland plays so well 5-on-5.
You know why? Because they play best when they don't have it. They skate you into mistakes, which makes their offense easy to come by.
Graf knocked the helmet off James. And James stick out his helmet right back to the American bench. Have to leave the ice or put it on immediately. And they mean immediately.
Or just stick handle it to the bench on your way over there.
Siedler takes the return pass, feeds it across to Alge. Back of the line, Siedler, a hard shot goes off a leg. And the clearing attempt by Clevin knocked down by Siedler. Clevin blocks it again. And this time he plays it out, but races for it now. Savage, short-handed. Red Savage walks in. Backhand shot, he put it wide.
I think he had him too. He froze him. He just might have missed the net. Red Savage, who had a short-handed goal in the exhibition game prior to the tournament starting, scored in the first game as well against Germany.
Final seconds now, the power play. Canuck works in. Simone Canuck for Allensbach. In, shoots, and Merkel the save. Still loose, Canuck digging for it. And the Americans break out 4 wide. Coronado plays out ahead, knocked down by Nyes. In comes Nyes with a chance, and Canuck knocked him down in the corner.
Canuck can skate, and he is strong on his skates.
He's a Nashville 6th-round draft pick. In comes Farney with a shot. Faber blocked that.
See how he can play in the men's league in Davos.
Tomaskevich in, shoots. It's off a stick, up and out of play. And this game still scoreless with 5:04 to go in the opening period. Red Savage, a great look, just missed, short-handed.
Steer Savage a little bit further wide than he was hoping for. And earlier, it was James getting his helmet knocked off by Graf as Graf's trying to protect the puck, and helmet's off, air's flying. He's got to change, got to take the helmet over there. It's all happening. But wise enough to not stay on the ice and take a penalty.
Remember a couple of years ago in this tournament, well, about 5 years ago, Slaggert walks in. Slaggert got to go between the legs, and he slammed into the end boards. There's Mazur with it. Finland, that player, I want to say it was Julius Honka, who had just come from the American Hockey League to the World Championship, kept playing with a helmet off, got penalized for it, cost Finland a goal and the game. It's a game-winning goal for that power play. Mazur walks out and shoots, and that was blocked in front, knocked down by Bachler. Bachler plays for the GCK Lions in Switzerland's second league, so that's Zurich. So there's the Zurich Lions, the big team in the Swiss National League. They've got a farm team, if you want to call it that, in the Swiss second league. They're a financial powerhouse in that league. Henry plays that back, and that long shot drifted wide by Graf. Henry had it skip away, played back down the ice by James. And James and Henry get tangled up at the American blue line. They're jousting. 4 to go here in the opening period. Still no score.
And you can feel the U.S. getting a little frustrated because they're trying to assert themselves. They're trying to take control of the game, and they haven't yet solved the defensive structure of Switzerland. They haven't yet figured out, okay, how do we get chances? How do we get the pace in the game?
The top teams so far have faced tests. Sweden had a tough time with the Swiss team. Finland went to a shootout against Czechia. There have been some close encounters here, but so far, as James Duffy pointed out, no upsets. Clevin. Up ahead to Brett Berard. Drops that back to Samaskevich. That's picked on. And quick, oh, look out. Barney got straightened up there by Clevin. Clevin can really hit.
So get the word out now across this tournament. When 25 white is on the ice, make sure you have your head up. Some guys step up and are kind of under control and they hit you. Clevin goes after you full throttle. He doesn't ease off when he's about to hit someone. He goes in there full bore.
Cooley trying to poke that free. Logan Cooley throws that back for Clevin. That's knocked away and almost a break there as it was chipped out by Garasu. William Garasu didn't play in the opening game for Switzerland against Sweden. Big wide pass to Behrens. Chips out ahead to Cooley. Cooley, a centering pass. Thrown back towards the goal by Sean Behrens. And the save is made by Pash.
When you're a high-end player, you expect to make plays. You expect to always beat guys, and sometimes when it doesn't happen, even the best one ever, Luke Hughes, you can get a sense of his frustration. Just not happening. It's not happening just yet. And that, again, is part of the challenge as a younger player, having kind of the maturity to be patient, stay with it, and not get frustrated.
Right there, keep going, keep going. Let's go, keep working, keep working.
Referee Circle Humius urging the players on. I'd always be tempted to hand him a stick and say, you try to move it. Matthew Nyes runs headlong into Strela. And now Nicolette drops it off to Ritzman. And Ritzman got bumped off the puck by Faber. 7-5 the shots in favor of the U.S. Ritzman hammered down Behrens, who was slow to get to his feet. And now behind the play, Cooley is taken down, and a penalty coming to Switzerland. And Logan Cooley is slow to get to his feet. Nye is a big hit there as he slams into Depot. So Cooley slowly makes his way back to the American bench.
Two Americans. Behrens as well is hunched over, still not right on the bench, and Cooley going to the other side. We got one defenseman who got hit awkwardly on the back shoulder. No call, and then Cooley gets his legs taken out of him by Henry behind the net, and he stays down as well. And so here's the first one. More of a smush from Ritzman. That was not called. This shove and trip combo was. And Cooley not out to start the power play, still on the bench.
So Yoel Henry goes off, and the United States gets its first power play. They were 1 for 4 against Germany. Logan Cooley had the man advantage goal. Hughes quarterbacked it. Samaskevich bangs that back, but it got away from Hughes, and now Burkle way out to play it. Throws that by the Swiss forechecker. Samaskevich winds in with Mazur. Fan of that shot. They can't clear it out as Biasca couldn't clear that as Hughes drops it down. Bordelot centers it. Now picked up by Samaskevich. Back for Hughes. Hughes back to Bordelot. Little chip pass there goes off the stick of Bachler. Mazur back across the Bordelot. Shoots! And the glove stop is made by Pash. Now some pushing and shoving breaks out in front of the Swiss goal.
Tell you what, Pash has been on it. He looks very much under control. That was a pretty heavy shot by Bordelot through some feet, and he just snared it like it was a warm-up shot.
Pash played in the December tournament, allowed 4 goals on 32 shots and a loss to Russia.
Bordelot is sneaking in pretty deep there. He's got to work their way around Berard, but spots it, no problem, makes the save, controls the rebound.
And Logan Cooley comes out for the power play. So good to see that he's not too badly hurt.
I was fairly confident he was going to make it back for the power play.
It heals all wounds, does it?
It really does. It really does.
Back at the point is Hughes. Off the skate of Cooley. Picked up by Delmo. And Noah Delmo lays it back down in the American zone as Hughes goes back. A minute to go now in a scoreless first period. Here's Coronado with it. Hughes Gets away from Farney. Coronado ahead to Cooley. Back for Nyes. Nyes a backdoor pass. A great pass and a shot by Coronado. Rebound cleared away.
That is a heck of a save from Pash getting across. Hard pass. He had to get over there in a hurry.
Hughes winds in. Drops that back to Coronado. That's Coronado from Harvard in the NCAA. Now back goes Hughes. He's got Ritzman closing on him shorthanded. Final seconds now of the period. Ritzman causing all kinds of problems here on the penalty kill for Switzerland. Nicolette in there as well, and Nicolette works it free. Nicolette's stick came out of his hands. And Nyes brings it back the other way. Dying second to the period. Nyes, the passage job, shoots past the save. And Nyes, after the horn, gets a shot away. And we're going to have a problem behind the Swiss net.
But not for Pash, who's cool as a cucumber. He doesn't really get worked up about it, having a little chat with the official. But maybe the best save by either goalie in the first period. Off the rush, not a great angle there by Nacht, and hard pass, really wide. Coronado catches it and leans on it. Nice, rips it across, and watch how hard Coronado tries to step on this shot. Catch, and he tries to really get all of it. And that's overtaking it in the chest, staying upright. And of course, the bench responds to any great save like that, keeping things scoreless. When you're in the box, you breathe a sigh of release. Thank you very much. For the U.S. to get the pucks in the dangerous scoring areas. And when you do that often enough, you'll create chances going the other way. You'll frustrate the opponent. And eventually, hopefully find one of your own. The best chance the Americans had on Switzerland was on the power play. Coronado got a seam past the shot, but other than that, it was 8 shots, 1 tough save for Pasha, and a very good first period for Switzerland.
And as James mentioned, will be shorthanded for the first 7 seconds of this second period, but this is, again, what we saw against Sweden. It was a scoreless game until late in the second period. The Swedes took the lead there. Switzerland made that a close game.
Whoa, that's out. That's trouble.
That was straight out the linesman.
Zanetti was trying to say it deflected off something, and I mean, that sailed out in a hurry.
Shoots it
Team
on the play.
Switzerland, number 15, minor penalty for delay of game.
It looks so clear. I'm not sure what he's perhaps debating, because he goes back, he's trying to get it all the way down, and that's nowhere near anybody.
No, actually.
Almost caught the Team Canada camera there in the penalty box.
Oh, that's
can be troublesome.
That's actually our.
Yes,
it's ours. Much talked about in Ostrava in the gold medal game between Canada and Russia.
So just as one penalty.
Oh, what a quick save there by Pash. And now Bordelot back with it. So Team USA remains on the power play. Bordelot in shoots, and Pash to stop on that. Bordelot probably more of a pass first guy as Hughes goes across, and Samasevich fired that wide.
Absolutely right, and maybe you're trying to soften up the coverage with that kind of wrister. With nobody in front, it's not a threat. It's not a threat to score from there.
There was a time when the Washington Capitals told Nicholas Baxter would be more of a shooting threat. But the other guy was so good that
he might be a good option, but not as good as the one we have on the far side of the ice.
Samoskevich back to pick it up. Maki Samoskevich, Florida first-round pick in the 2021 draft. Bordelot back with it. Mazur chips that back in front. Bouncing puck goes to Bordelot. Inside a minute to go in this power play. Bordelot winds to the front of the net. Farrar with a chance. Pash down. Goes back to Hughes. Hughes swings it across. Bordelot in, shoots, and Pash got a piece of that. Here's Hughes back with it. Back across to Bordelot. Bordelot, backdoor pass. Samoskevich shot. Pash comes across and makes the save.
It's a good save. That's much better from the States. From trying to get it down to the goal line, attack from the goal line extended. Berard gets a little chance in front of the net. Then Bordelot, a bit of a no-looker, finds it over Samoskevich, who gets plenty on it, almost tucks it under the arm. But Pasha is there to make the save, and There you see that kick save was actually a tip.
Yeah, it goes off the stick of Chanton.
Chanton, and failing at his defenseman.
Moore drops that back. At the point, played back to Cooley. Cooley rips that back, and the shot.
2-on-1 if you go.
Job is blocked and brought out now by Nussbaumer. And a penalty kill shift and tips it down.
It wasn't the end of a shift. He just got out there. Defensive defenseman wants to get in and get off.
Sean Barron's back up for Team USA. Was shaken up in the first period, so good to see him back. In comes Matthew Nye. Plays it back across to Cooley. Shoots! And the glove stopped by Pash as Zanetti steps back on. 2 shots on goal for the U.S. on that power play. So Switzerland survives a long stretch of penalty kill time.
Good job by Switzerland, though. And here we see Nussbaumer now. He almost has a 3-on-1 if he could just take 3 more strides, but he's on his offside. He was just thinking, get the red line and get off. Meanwhile, the guy in the middle saying, let's go here. I was playing with Mike Sullivan, the Pittsburgh Penguins head coach, for a brief moment. That's how he treated the 2-on-1s as well. Get to the red lines and get them off.
Last 7 shots of the game to the U.S. That's high off the glass as well. That time was Dionicio. That's brought him in. Shoots! Hit the crossbar and goes out of play. And did Pash get a piece of that with a catching glove?
He did, but he's wondering exactly what happened to that very reliable right glove hand of his, because this is not much on this one. He catches the tip of the glove, and then the crossbar kind of misses it. He thinks he's got it. He just kind of misses it. But after the whistle, he was giving a little inspection there to make sure everything's working all right.
Face off, won by Farney. Chopped up by Canuck. And Duran ran over Canuck. Noah Domo out to center ice. That's intercepted and played back in by Kaiser. Right down to Pash. Delamont. Lead pass from Bach that goes right back down to Berkowitz to play that quickly away from Canuck, who is on rushing. Back the other way comes Slaggert. Landon Slaggert, rink wide pass, and a hard shot by James. Save made by Pash, and Pash right away as the arm up. His
helmet got popped off.
Strap got disrupted there, and so he's quick to regroup.
That was a very dangerous clearing play by Umberco, but it ended up working out pretty nicely for a rush opportunity. And he gets a seam pass, and there you see the back strap pop off as Pasha took that right square in the mask.
And right away.
Now, I've never worn a goalie mask and got hit in the face, but apparently they, I can't imagine that not really shaking you up. But apparently they're so good at diffusing the energy of shots and deflecting it around, it doesn't bother the goaltenders to the degree that you think it should.
Back of the line, Clever with a shot, and that took a bite out of Bachler. Let's check that Piasca. In comes Yoel Henry. Henry with a move around Clevin, shoots at a sharp angle, and Berko save, rebound. That's put high by Biasca. Picked up by Passajob. And Sasha Passajob chips that back down to the Swiss zone. Dionicio to the line, but not out. Clever long shot. That again goes off the right glove of Pash.
He's catching the wrong way. Maybe he should contemplate going the other direction. That is 2 in a row that he's muffed on the left side.
Biasca winds in and shoots, and Berkle to save on that. And he'll hang on. And
it's an important time in the game right now for Switzerland to kind of step back up and not dominate, but just level out the playing field. It's getting a little too tilted in favor of the U.S., and Pasha's been under duress, taking lots of shots and chances against. There's another one where he accidentally drops that puck right in front of him. Switzerland's just got to settle things down and get a run, a play here where maybe nothing happens. And that would be fine for them. Just slow this game down.
U.S. had 10 straight shots in the game at one point. And that long shot by Stroila is stopped by Umberco.
And this is good. Whistles. A couple shots on net, even if they're not great chances. Just kind of get everyone back into the game 5-on-5 where Switzerland is most comfortable.
Burke will be going to Cornell. Or probably Colorado College this fall. My apologies. He's from Aspen, Colorado.
Nice luxury to bring in a goaltender who's a little bit older.
Yeah. This tournament open to players born in 02 or later. There's a penalty now against Switzerland again. It's a holding call, and so with 4 gone here in the second period, Switzerland once again shorthanded as Bachler goes off, and they're playing with fire
number 16, minor penalty for holding.
And the Mazur kind of creates some havoc by the U.S. bench with an attempted big hit. And that puts a turnover, and Slaggert's got inside position, and absolutely, Bachler gets the arm out and drags him down. So where did U.S. look more dangerous on that last power play? Not on the shots on the half wall, but from the goal line or finding seams.
In comes Nyes, a backhand shot, put that wide.
That's the space, though. They give you that goal line play.
Nyes back around to Cooley. Coronado to Barron, shoots at the flex wide. Passage off. Back to Barron. To Cooley. In shoots. Passage off on that. Nyes. Passage off. To Barron. Passage off. To the goal mouth. Nyes tries it again. Backhand shot. Passes down. They battle away for it. Nyes got buried by Zanetti. Coronado trying to pick that free. Barron's calls for it. Brings that back across, and Chantone picks it up. Fires it back down the ice, and Barron's will go back. Barron's won a national championship with the University of Denver last year. He's a freshman there. Second-round pick of the Colorado Avalanche. Pretty good year for hockey in Colorado when you think about it. In Denver specifically.
Yeah.
Here's Hughes with it. Spins it around to Bordeleau. Top power play comes out. Bordeleau drops it back. Brewer with a quick shot off the blocker of Pash. Bordeleau. Mazur. Semiskevich. Back to Hughes. Shoots. He hammered that high. Bouncing puck at the side of the goal. Picked up by Canuck. And he banks it by Hughes and back down the ice. Luke Hughes. Spins that back to Samiskevich. Mazur. Back to Hughes. Almost poked away by Ritzman. And Bordeleau collides there with Zanetti. Samiskevich centers it. Mazur. Pick chance scores. Carter Mazur on the sweep feed from Mackie Samiskevich. And the power play goal gives the U.S. a 1-0 lead.
It's a nice play from behind the net to get out in front, and actually can't quite locate the puck on the quick pass, but the play is really made at the blue line. This puck should have got cleared out, and see Swiss players jumping there, but that tie-up at the blue line allows U.S. to maintain possession, and then Delamont gets caught a little deep, thinking Samiskevich is going out the far side, doesn't really identify the stick of Mazur, who's able to bank it home. But strong sticks at the blue line keep the play alive and results in U.S.'s first goal.
Well, the Swiss took their chances with the penalties.
Well, that's just it. 5-on-5, they are comfortable in checking, but you give a team as good as the Americans multiple power plays in a row, they get a little feel, get a little confidence, and they'll eventually get a goal.
Puck banks back out and shot in by Clevin with offside called. 13:51 to go here in the second period. The United States has finally pried this thing open. Samiskevich the pass, Mazur the goal. He's got his first of this World Junior. Carter Mazur, another guy who won a national championship at Denver, a product of the Detroit Little Caesars organization. Minor hockey group. He drafted by the third round, in the third round by Detroit in 2021. The first Detroit Little Caesars player to be drafted high in the NHL draft was Pat LaFontaine back in 1983.
I remember growing up around 83 when I first started playing across the border, and Little Caesars had this powder blue and orange uniform, and were always one of the best club teams in the Detroit area.
The Red Wings desperately wanted to draft LaFontaine back in '83. He went third overall to the Islanders, so they had to settle for another guy at 4, Steve Yzerman.
Worked out okay. And talk about a game of inches. Here's Luke Hughes. If this puck gets out, it's no goal. Just get to it, keep it alive. A little fan on the blue line realized how close that was to getting over the line.
So the Swiss took 3 consecutive minor penalties from the end of the first period into the early part of the second. Ball down by Algay. Clevin goes back. It's bumped there by Tybel. Tybel takes the return hit from Clevin. Tabor back on it. Plays it back to Clevin. Faber. Back across for Savage, and Red Savage plays it in. Stroila out to center ice, knocked down by Kaiser. He finds James in, shoots, good stop there by Pash. Now Truscott with it, he shoots, that goes wide. Kaiser has it bounced out, and almost a chance there for Farney, but he's knocked off the play by Kaiser. Samoskevich slides out ahead. James got it hit back up. Samoskevich works it back in front. Pass knocks down away. Balance back, can't quite clear it out. Good play there by Kaiser. Samoskevich shoots, and the glove stop is made by Pash. Oh, look out. Stroila got the stick up there on James.
Doesn't look like they're planning on calling one, but
I don't know if they saw it or not.
That would be something that is generally called, as sort of gets a stick up in the scrum after the whistle. James did a little knee to the side of the head. That's never appreciated.
No.
No. You know what? Scratch that. Scratch that. James, you're coming with me. Sold it well though, because from up here it looked like
he
got popped. Yeah.
Good non-call. Coronado works in. Shoots, he lifts that wide. Shots now 20-11 in favor of the United States. It was 7-4 Switzerland at one point.
Switzerland stopped getting through the neutral zone. Just like that. Like they're maybe getting it clear, but they're not getting it all the way down to buy themselves time to set up their system. They're getting it turned over too high up the ice.
Tipped ahead now by Henry. Yoel Henry gets in. Backhand shot, scores! What a move by Yoel Henry, and the game is tied at 1. Hello now.
Henry is such a slippery player. We've been marveling at him. A little turnover there. Smart of him to poke it way ahead, recognizing that Moore is going to catch him. So if he tries to take this to his forehand, Moore is going to be there to lift the stick. Never offers up the chance, and a little bit lax with the stick discipline on Maberko. As he pushes right to left, he leaves the stick on his right shin. Open up a pretty big hole in the 5-hole, and Henry, no mistake. Slick finish.
And that puck was never flat.
No, but he knows what he's doing. He knew, I got to get it away from the pile, so I chip it deep, get my legs moving. I got a guy on my left, so I'm going to keep it on my right. Power pull, open him up, and slide it 5-hole. Very nicely done.
Henry played for the GCK Lions, the Zurich farm team in the Swiss second league last year. Had just 7 goals. His dad, Patrick, a longtime player in the Swiss league. That's a big, big goal for the Swiss. You talked about it. A key point in the game.
Yeah, they were hanging by a thread. It looked like it was about to get away from them. Now they're right back in it.
1-1 tie here in the second period. McCown chips that back in front, picked off and moved out by Ritzman. Ritzman drops it back. That's picked off, and now Faber out to center ice to Bordelot. Bordelot moving in with McCown, and Pash jumps up to get that away. And Stroila comes in again on McCown.
And you know what? The refs won't let this happen many more times. They will just start taking 1 or 2. They don't want a scrum to develop after every whistle because someone gets around the goaltender. There's a turnover there. Puck's knocked out of the air. Henri jumps on it. And you're right, that puck never stops rolling. But he's able to handle it clean on the pull because it's flat on his blade and then flat again. That is... 5-hole is just so pretty when you're a left-hander. When you open him up like that, he leaves his stick over there. You can drive a bus through the legs. You just slip it through. That was well done. Never looks as good as a right-hander because the stick is more likely to stay between his legs.
Right.
Because he pulls it across his body. But when he leaves it, all kinds of room.
The United States has never lost to Switzerland. There are 2 ties on the docket. 2006, the tournament in Vancouver. In 1994, in what was then the Czech Republic. In Ostrava. Long shot, rattled high by Nussbaumer. Nussbaumer plays for the Zug Academy. Big hit at center ice. As Ronnie Duran was knocked down by Allenspach. The Zug Academy for EV Zug is about a half a dozen players on the Swiss team. And a number of them will move up and play in the Swiss second league or even with the parent team EV Zug in the Swiss National League. Despont goes back. Despont played for St. John in the Quebec Major Junior League, won the Memorial Cup with them. Played only 1 playoff game for them though. In comes Farrar with it. Brett Farrar moves it back across. Samoskevich can get that puck to sit for him. And back it goes to James. Samoskevich. Got it knocked away. Samoskevich back on it. Centers it. A quick shot by James is partially blocked by Biasca. Henri bumps off the puck by Berard. The Swiss players standing now on their bench. And Biasca bumped there by Samoskevich. 9.5 to go in the second period. At the Linka Gretzky Cup last week in Redmond, the under-18 tournament, the Swedish players stood the whole game.
These are not working hard. Got to need a break when you get to the bench. The players are into the game.
Tybell had that knocked away. Jonas Tybell plays for Moncton.
It really does have to manage the neutral zone turnovers.
Right.
They're coughing it up time and again and get turned back in their own end.
Zanetti winds it back around. Nussbaumer up ahead for Garasu. And Garasu chips that down. An icing called against the Swiss.
Tight line call is.
Yeah,
Garasu had the red line easily if he wanted it. Here's a big hit right there. Oh, that's a tough one. Allenspach recognized that Duran is reaching and leaning, and he got him on the button. You know you got him good when your first look is to the officials. You're scanning the ice to where the any arms up? No, we're good. All right, get back in the play. As the referees shoo the ice cleaning crew off the ice.
Yes, there was an icing caller, so no break.
No break.
They'd already started the shoveling though. So
clean up the half job.
There's some snow drifts. Face off in the Swiss zone. Tybell lost that face off. Here's Faber back with it. Shoots, returns, scores! The captain, Brock Faber, fires up through the screen of Swigert, and the U.S. is back on top.
Details matter, like getting the red line and not giving a tired group a defensive zone face-off.
Right, there's the icing, right, that comes back to
Garasu's all by himself. There's no even on him. Like, there's no need to dump that in before the red line. He does. Correct call is made. And then watch Faber wait for Slager to establish position. Slager gets in, and all of a sudden now Pasha can't see anything. Through 3 guys. Great look at it there, guys.
What a shot.
Seeing eye wrister. But if you shoot it early before the screen sets up, goalie's gonna track it. If you wait, he won't see it. But Garasu's got to take half stride, not even under pressure, to dump it in.
Faber, a second-round pick of the LA Kings, was dealt to Minnesota in the Kevin Fiala deal. He plays at Minnesota, the NCAA, so also played in the Olympics for Team USA. So Faber, a Maple Grove, Minnesota native, is going back to his home state.
Pretty exciting, and when they trade someone as good as Fiala for you, it tells you they think pretty highly of your chances.
Coronado looks at him, but goes over the glass and out. 7:55 to go here in the second period.
That's good composure by the States, responding quickly after the goal.
2-1, the U.S. leads here in the second period at the World.
And tough sequence for Garasu, who couldn't quite block the shot after not quite getting the red line.
Right.
And just like that, the U.S. has restored their 1-goal advantage.
Such, the little things, right? I mean, you don't think about the icing. You don't.
I don't know if he's tired or if he's panicky, but there's no one really stepping up on him. There's no reason not to get the red line.
Right.
It's just you get tired sometimes. Your mind doesn't think as clearly as you wish it would, and you make an unforced error.
On the forecheck is McCown. He bumped into Stroila. And now Delamont with it. The U.S. back on top for the second time. Back at the point, that hard shot.
That's it!
Taken by Siegler. And the save made by Umberko.
Any surprise that Umberko goes back-to-back starts here? You're not quite sure. It's only a 4-game round robin, then you're into the elimination games.
Yeah.
And you get a couple days off within those 4 games, so it's not about rest. If Oak backing up in this game, Umberko getting the start.
They don't, this was the big question mark for the U.S. They won the gold medal in 2021 with Spencer Knight, who was fantastic, the Florida Panther first-round pick. The goaltending in this tournament a little more unsettled. Really, they have 2 USHL goalies on their roster and 1 OHL goaltender who could not have a great year. So it was kind of an unknown. We asked head coach Nate Lehman before the tournament, who's going to be your #1 goalie? He said, I don't know right now. He thought Umberko,
right,
just based on the fact that he had the best year of the 3.
But Umberko, who was not really challenged in the first game against Germany, gave up 1 on 11.
Yeah.
Couldn't really tell good or bad. I guess they saw enough to commit to him going that they didn't need to see somebody else.
Well, Portlow puts that wide. Back at the line is Hughes. Luke Hughes. Back to Faber. Shoots again, trying to find the stick at Brett Slaggert. Plays it across.
Nice.
Mazur scores. And Mazur points right at Slaggert for that sweet pass. And it's 3-1 Team USA. Mazur's second of the game.
What a nice play. Mazur with the finish, but Slaggert in front of the net. And that's where U.S. can take advantage of some of their size, winning puck battles versus Slaggert, then Bordelot. But watch number 19 in front. Spin off, get body position, and then just seal off Zanetti. And it's very difficult to maintain a check if you're Graf and he's Slaggert walking to the net. It's almost like boxing someone out, looking for a rebound, knew exactly what he was doing. Not looking to score there, looking to find Mazur on the back door. Smart, strong play by Landon Slaggert.
Slaggert plays for the Fighting Irish at Notre Dame for Coach Jeff Jackson, who coached Team USA in the 1995 World Junior in Alberta. Long-time coach of the Notre Dame hockey team.
Slaggert's family's names all over that Notre Dame program right now.
Dad, uncles.
Dad, uncle, brother to come.
Cold shoulder there.
Sit down.
Knocking down Jacob Truscott was Fabian Ritzman. So some breathing room finally for Team USA here in the second period. Semiskevich knocked out the puck by Ritzman. Ritzman looks ahead for Nicolette. And that centering pass gets away from Bachler. Back comes Samiskevich the other way. Aki Samiskevich, also a pretty good hockey family. His sister Melissa was a gold medalist in the 2019 Women's World Championship. Other sister Maddie played the women's under 18s. Moore throws it ahead. Of course, the Women's World Championship 2022 edition coming up in Denmark later this month. First time the Women's World will be played the same year as the Olympics. So a big step forward there to have an annual Women's World Championship. Now the centering pass just missed. Looking for Allensbach, who had jumped up. Nussbaumer plays it ahead. Back goes Clevin for it. Oh, he's sent flying there by Allensbach. The Americans didn't like that much as Savage took a run at Allensbach. Nussbaumer has that skip away, has Duran closing in on him.
Clevin saw him coming, just lost the battle.
Pass the job. Moves that ahead to Clevin. And swinging back is Depot. Cooley plays it back to Hughes. In comes Luke Hughes with it, has a quick look. Hughes walks right out and shoots. Pash to save, rebound. And a chance in tight for Coronado. And Pash's mask is knocked off. 4:08 to go here in the second period. The United States has gained itself some breathing room as Brock Mazer, native of Jackson, Michigan, has his second of the game. And the United States has a 3.
It's just for a few games. He likes that shot. He beats guys wide, kind of gets lost on a switch, and he tries to bank them in off guys' heads. Seen it 3 or 4 times in just a couple games. The tight angle upstairs by Hughes.
Off the draw, Nyes with the shot. Blocked. The second try ripped wide. Hughes plays it back to center ice and picked up by Nyes. Hughes looks that back ahead for Brock Faber. In comes Faber. Sends it back in, trying to find Cooley with that pass. Logan Cooley tied up, looks back for Hughes. It skipped away from him. Up ahead for Nyes. That skipped away from him. Coronado back on it. And back to pick it up is Jacob Truscott. Another Michigan Wolverine, a Vancouver 5th round pick. Coronado tries to play that free. It's knocked down by Ritzman. Now back at the point is Truscott. Walks in, holds, and shoots at the goalpost. Rebound loose at the side of the goal. Coronado turned away by Pash. Kaiser back across for Truscott. In for Wyatt Kaiser, the Chicago 3rd round pick. Drops that back. Good pass saved by Pash. As he turns that away from Slaggert. Some pushing and shoving breaks out again as Kaiser was looking for the loose puck. And Carter Mazer in there as well.
So the U.S. is starting to solve the defensive zone coverage a little bit by working it up high, and pretty good offensive shots from their blue liners. A favorite score one. Truscott gets a lot on this. A casual little wrister, but Pash is not a big guy. He's at just 5'10", so when he's down on his knees, whether his shoulders get all the way to the bar will be close.
Face off back in the Swiss zone. For whatever reason, North American teams have always had success in face-offs against most European teams. If you look at these international tournaments, for the most part, the top face-off guys tend to be from North American teams. For whatever reason.
See, yeah, I'm trying to think of a good reason why that would be.
That shot by Kaiser scores! Tipped in front. And it's a 4-1 lead. Kaiser the shot. Looked like it deflected, but once again, Slaggert standing in front.
I think he caught a piece of something, but it was a red shin pad on the way through as Sasha's having a hard time seeing the puck right now because of all the bodies and traffic in front. Another face-off there. You talked about it. Borlo gets underneath, wins it clean. And Kaiser head up, middle of the ice. What does he see? Gets it down. Puck retrieval as this one not able to clear it. And here's another one. Does that catch 5 red stick?
No, it's Slaggert.
That's Slaggert. Oh, well done. Great job, Gord. You called that one early. I thought Slaggert was pointing, saying, I didn't get it. But he did.
Well, Slaggert's been parked in Pash's eye line all night.
That's his spot. And that's a beautiful shot to tip. Not too hard. High enough that if you knock it down, the goalie will not be on his knees, so there's lots of space down on the ice. As a wing, as a guy who played in front of the net, you love those ones kind of, you know, waist high, because the goaltender has to stand up to respect the height of the shot. Any touch down has a good chance of getting through his legs.
4-1 lead here.
I say waist high, not chin height. I didn't like those ones quite as much.
Don't like the brushbacks.
No. Got to be Sheldon Soret.
Clement shoots. You played with a guy who hated high point shots. Keith Tkachuk used to give stink eye to defensemen who wired it high.
Yeah. Because he couldn't get the goals when they're coming in that high. He needed them lower to get tips and to score.
2 to go here in the second period. U.S. trying to improve its record to 2-0. 2 groups of 5 teams. Top 4 make the quarterfinals. But seeding is an important part of the calculation of this tournament. You want to avoid tough quarterfinal and semifinal matchups whenever possible. Although a subtle change to the IIHF rules, they reseed after the quarterfinals now at the Men's World Championship.
Right. Finland narrowly escaped earlier with a shootout victory.
Yeah, but you get 2 points for that win instead of 3. So that,
but you know, if there was an upset, all of a sudden Finland's the 3rd seed. Well, then U.S. or Sweden, if they're 1-2, would play Finland in the quarters,
which you probably, you know, a tougher matchup than you'd expect.
Than you'd want.
And in single elimination games, those 1-game shots.
Yeah.
Pash out to play it. U.S. is outshot Switzerland 20-7 here in the second period. That hard shot stopped by Pash from McCowan. McCowan back with it. Back to Hughes. Hughes on the line, holds it, shoots, scores! That also deflected. Might have been Coronado, got a stick on that, but Hughes again with the keep in just to keep it on the line.
Walk the line, have defensemen who are skilled enough and confident enough to maintain possession, buy a little time, and then get guys down in front of the net with great hand-eye. But you're right, this little peel back by Hughes and then drifts it in. And Coronado waves at it.
Oh,
right on the line. Oh yeah, there it is. Taps it down.
That's what you talked about, right?
You know, waist, chest high. If you can tip it down, it's hard for the goalie to stop. And credit the American defense. They have been pivotal for much of what they've gotten done here in the second period.
Seems pretty obvious what the American approach here is. It's not, you know, a lot of teams do it, but it's bodies in front.
Yes. You also have to understand that Switzerland plays that passive high defense. So your point men are generally open.
That centering pass just missed Cooley.
And trying to pass the puck down to the front of the net, back doors or whatever is very difficult. So point shots, tips, rebounds.
Nyes moves it ahead now with Coronado. Nyes comes back. Cooley tries to knock that free and now knocked ahead by Dioniccio. So the Swiss like where they were after 1 period, not so much after 2, as the Americans score 5 times in the period to take a 5-1 lead on the Swiss.
I saw Luke Hughes keep a puck in for an earlier goal just inside the blue line. How about this one? Yeah, he's right on it, and then the instant release. He saw finishing his sophomore season at Notre Dame.
Doesn't have to go far to go to school. So a new goaltender now for the Swiss. Noah Patnaud comes in. Patnaud played against Sweden, allowed 3 goals on 29 shots. He played 1 game in last year's tournament against Canada, allowed 10 goals on 52 shots.
Pash had a tough goal there. I mean, he played solid in the first. You think about what got happened in the second period. They started on the penalties, gave up the ice time offense zone chances. Then it was the screens, and it was the deflections and pucks that were going to be really hard for him to stop.
Gave up 4 goals on his last 9 shots in that second period.
Well, the 2 tips in the back door, no goalie stopped.
Right, so you know, center pass by Mazur. Up for Slaggert, who came leaping through. Landon Slaggert's a 3rd-round pick of Chicago in 2020.
Now that's a good organization to be part of right now, because opportunities galore.
And so you grow up in South Bend.
Yeah.
You play at Notre Dame. You get drafted by Chicago. There are American League teams in Rockport. Rockport just outside Chicago.
3 hours from home everywhere.
The Blackhawks are about a 90-minute drive from Notre Dame.
And he has a chance to make Chicago.
Yeah.
This is not, you know, the team that's stacked with forwards and going to be hard for a 3rd-round pick.
By the way, pro tip, if you're making the trip the other way from Chicago to South Bend to Notre Dame.
Yes.
Notre Dame's in the Eastern time zone. Chicago's in the Central time zone.
Oh, did you suffer that one time trying to get to Notre Dame for a game?
I was going to broadcast a game, and a college game at Notre Dame, and bad snowstorm, and the producer called me and said, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm in Gary, Indiana, right at the bottom end of Lake Michigan." Yeah. He goes, "Oh, no problem. It's only 3:30. It's 4:30 here, Gord." Oh.
Oopsie. That world clock on your phone is there for a reason.
Busting loose now is Logan Cooley. In comes Cooley with a chance. Drives right in. A good stop there by Patno, but a penalty coming. It'll be a slashing call. And Zanetti's trying to ignore the officials and skate away, but
15.
they got him. And USA will get a power play early.
Number
in the
15,
third.
Switzerland, minor penalty for slashing.
I haven't seen that burst out of Cooley that often in this game. Saw a little bit more of it against Germany, but that is just a straight wide drive. No move, just put the leg out and beat your guy to the net. And I think the slash should actually be going against Nussbaumer. He's the one, or maybe, oh, it's a late one on the hands. Okay, I guess they both got a piece of Cooley as he blew through. It's back to the power play. They've already gotten production tonight.
Here's Hughes with it. Plays it back across for Samoskevich. Been a big part of the production tonight for Team USA. Carter Mazur back across for Brett Berard. Samoskevich for Hughes. Hughes feeds across. Portalo, one-time shot, scores! He may be a pass-first guy, but that's a rock of a shot. A power play goal makes it 6-1.
That was one heck of a release from Thomas Portalo. Pass wasn't perfect. Watch his feet as they move around the outside of the box. Luke Hughes trying to slide it forward, but he's got to get that off his front foot. Watch him shuffle to his right quickly so that he can get full flex on this puck. It's not ideal, a little too far in front. But man, oh man, and that is the new way to shoot. You don't shoot top corner, you shoot bar down just off the middle of the net, basically by the ears. And Portalo with a nasty finish. That is a heck of a shot.
So Luke Hughes with 3 assists tonight, has 5 points in 2 games for Team USA.
And we're wondering how he put up a point a game as a freshman in college. Well, you're seeing it.
Berard back after it. Nicolette tries to chip that back out, and Berard has it back at center ice. And behind the goal, that's knocked back. And the return pass goes to James. James drops it back to Clement, a long shot. That's gloved by Patno. It bounces right back in front. And banked out by Garasu. Long lead pass, chipped down by Graf. That misfires, icing called against the Swiss.
And one more look at this goal, and passing it underneath the down pressure, good idea. And then I guess you're just putting on the shot. Hughes slides it over, sells shot, tries to draw on the shot blockers, but this is all just Portalo. Sometimes you just got to give credit to the shooter. He's too good. So maybe maybe we should adjust our scouting report. It's not that he's not a shooter, maybe he's not a wrist shooter, because he looks like he's a one-timer.
Bordelot's dad, Sebastian, played in Switzerland for a while. That centering pass, skips back. In comes Barons with a shot that was blocked by Tybell. Puck loose back in front, knocked down by Brock Faber. 2 games tomorrow, by the way. Austria plays Sweden. Slovakia plays Latvia. Round robin play concludes on Monday. And a quick shot there taken by McCown. Rebound, he put that wide. Quarterfinals are Wednesday in this tournament. Semifinals Friday, and the gold medal and bronze medal games will be a week from Saturday. And then we got a penalty behind the play. We'll go to Team USA as Red Savage goes off.
Team USA, number 20, minor penalty for tripping.
Red Savage digging away, trying to find a loose puck. Checking the tape because he got it right underneath the skate blades. The Swiss player standing on it. There it is right there. Not once, but twice before Siedler goes down. So Switzerland goes to the power play, trying to salvage something here in the third.
Swiss had no shots on their first power play of the game. And it really was a momentum killer for them, wasn't it?
Yeah, and just the same way it was against Sweden in game 1. When they had opportunities and didn't really threaten well on the power play.
That was Luke Hughes short-handed dashing in.
He's going to be officially designated as a rover.
It's okay. That tag's been applied to a lot of great defensemen over the years.
Dan Boyle.
Yeah. Paul Coffey. Down the road from here.
Yeah. Pretty good at that. Brother Quinn can get up the ice a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know, but like, it's not an insult, is it?
No. No. Cale Makar gets up the ice. Best in the world.
Yeah. Raff back with it. Clevin throws it back down the ice. Coffey's 48 goals in a season, but just astonishing play here for Edmonton.
They had a pretty good offense back then. Another year Furzy had 15 assists.
Wait, stop behind the net. Coffey go 200 feet.
Furzy get a $3 million contract now just on the assists alone for his offensive production.
Unspock winds in. Feeds that back in the point for Delmo, but he can't hold the line. Delmo and Bordelot were actually exchanging friendly greetings in the warm-up, so they know each other from Bordelot's days in Switzerland. No shots for Switzerland on that power play either. And that shot right on his glove by Umberco. 6-1, the United States leads. It's day 3 of the 2022 World Junior Hockey Championship in Edmonton.
Ties in this tournament, but managed to get some games in with San Jose at the end of the year.
He was drafted by San Jose in the second round in 2020. Also played for Team USA at the World Championship, scored a couple of goals in that tournament.
And we're talking about Chicago, San Jose, another team.
Sure.
The opportunity should be there.
That long shot drifting just wide from Dionicio. Hughes banks it ahead for McCown. Bouncing puck chipped ahead, and that shot steered away. As Karasu got that away, and Burko kicked it away. Schlager lost the handle for a moment. Tapped back by Nicolette. Thinking about, telling players to be a threat to shoot. Of course, Ryan Getzlaf joked about that when he retired. That for years, they told him to be more of a shooter. And Bordelot is a pass-first player, has been primarily an assist guy. There he is talking to Delmo, the two number 9s in the warm-up.
That's a nice visit, warm-up. You wouldn't think that a Guy you grew up playing with, hanging with in Switzerland 10 years ago.
Right, would
You're
wind
going
up.
to see here in Edmonton in August at a World Junior playing against each other. Pretty cool. His dad had a very productive European playing career.
Off the draw, a quick shot taken there by Canuck, and the save made by Umberto. So my favorite story about a coach telling a guy to be more of a threat to shoot comes from the '81 Canada Cup. Scotty Bowman told Wayne Gretzky, "You're the best player in the game, but if you really want to do what you want to do, be more of a threat to score goals." 81-82, 92 goals.
That's a great story. If Scotty Bowman could have told me that, and I would have got 21 instead of 92.
I'm not saying it was because Bowman told him that, but it is kind of ironic that 50 and 39, just ridiculous.
I blame a lot of the pass-first mentality on Gretz. Because my generation grew up watching his Hockey My Way video where he said passing was as good as scoring. You watched that video, did not listen to it. You firmly believe that scoring's better than passing.
Well, because
rightfully so.
Yes. 28 Reality Titans, a whole new competition where anything can happen. Get into the Challenge USA, Wednesday, 10/8 Mountain on CTV. Set your PVR. Because the point is, Michael.
Yes, you can score without getting assists. You can't get an assist without a goal.
You can have a goal without an assist. You can't have an assist without a goal.
You've lectured me on this, I think, from when I was playing.
I haven't lectured. I've argued with you.
I've had this. I had that message delivered to me from since I was 12 years old. Shoot more.
Did you?
No, because I couldn't shoot well. so I'm a much better passer than shooter.
Why are you asking me to do something I'm not very good at?
Yeah. Well, you practice your shooting now.
I didn't want to ask. But. Getzlaf's hilarious. I mean, literally every coach he's ever had has hectored him to shoot more. He had a Hall of Fame career.
Well, him and Joe Thornton, both incredible shooters, just didn't like doing it. Getz maybe even more so, because he could world-class shot.
Yeah.
He just preferred to pass.
Joe Thornton's a really good shooter?
Yeah.
Really?
You'd never know because you've never seen it, but I've seen it a couple times over 25 years.
Long cross-ice pass for Graf. Switzerland's got Germany next, and then Austria. So presuming they lose this game, they're going to be 0-2. They've got to get a win against one of those two remaining teams. They're likely to book a spot in the quarterfinals. That's barring an upset somewhere. Find yourself in a three-way tie or something.
They'll battle hard. They should be able to stay in the games with Germany, Austria, as long as they can find enough offense.
Here's Faber back with it. Shoots. That goes wide. The Swiss really took a step back. When you talk about the impact of relegation, the Swiss were relegated to the tournament in 2008 in Czechia. They were scheduled to host the 2010 tournament. They were excited to host it again in 2010, but after being relegated, they were worried about being relegated on home ice. They were concerned what would happen if they got relegated on home ice.
So you lost me at Hughes dancing some of the blue line again. Unbelievable.
And so they withdrew from hosting in 2010. That tournament went to Saskatoon and Regina instead. And they've not hosted it since, but you know, the not just being relegated, but the threat of relegation can be really damaging. Look at this.
The lateral movement and the degree with which he sells the fake. How about Kaiser? You think he's ready to go off the faceoff? What is he, a speed skater? Look at this, out of the starting blocks. And then he gets it, he's off to the races. That is a whole, get him some starting blocks in there.
No kidding, huh?
That guy is ready to play. I never like playing against guys like that. Like, would you just relax? We're on a face-off here.
All those Eddie attaboys, huh?
Yeah, way to try hard.
Yeah.
6-1, let me win a face-off. Coaches love that, it's infectious, and it works. One standard of play. Guys are showing it.
Remember Bob Bassett in St. Louis? He took every face-off like his life depended on it. It was the St. Louis-Dallas game I was doing one night. It was a blowout. And Guy Carbonneau stared at Bassett in the third period. What are you doing?
Well, guys who are good at face-offs take great pride.
Sure.
And they can kind of pad their stats with some of those
And
cheapies,
you know what?
right?
And play right to the end. The game's 60 minutes long. Play to the end of it.
So, most recent coach of the Chicago Blackhawks, Derek King, and I were the wingers of Alan McCauley in Toronto. And he was a young rookie centerman.
That puck stolen away. Cooley with a quick chance. Deflects wide. The penalty coming now. Depot will go off. 9.5 to go here in the third period. USA with a comfortable 6-1 lead.
Yarder.
No.
And then they get asked to, and it's no. You could make a 5-yarder. Not you, generally speaking. You could make a 35.
Our producer, Chris Edwards,
yes,
was a kicker in college.
I heard he struggled outside of 30 as well.
Well, let's just put it this way. I depend on him for a lot here, so I'm not going to...
Yes, a very accomplished athlete.
More of a punter than a place kicker.
But the punters have to be the backup place kickers often, right?
Yeah.
So you got to be able to do a little bit of everything.
We had to be... I'm trying to be generous here because they're doing 3 games a day, but a quick chance in front. And Allensbach turned away. Back for it. We saw a great moment this spring for Swiss hockey. Andres Ambuel, the longtime Swiss international, broke the record. And look out now as this bubble was taken in.
The whole point of the no-touch icing is to avoid that.
Right.
The only way you avoid that is if you let the guys know it's no-touch icing. Like if you're going to blow it down, you got to blow it early. Right? Like, don't let them get so close to the boards. If you recognize that's going to occur, you blow it before they bump into each other. Err on the side of earlier.
Right.
It's not a slew foot. Looked like it, you know. You see, oh, a little awkward there for Bruce Bomber going to the boards, but no kick by Cooley. Just kind of knocked him off balance.
Yeah. But Andres Ambuel broke the record of the World Championship for the most career games played.
Yeah.
A beloved player in his home country.
So he just got recognized as Swiss Hockey Player Sportsman Moment of the Year.
Yeah.
Last couple of weeks at the Swiss Awards.
Swiss hockey, though, is very much on the rise. We mentioned Nico Hischier, first overall in the draft. Roman Josi, in some people's minds, the best defenseman last year in the NHL. He got more first-place votes for the Norris, but lost a narrow vote.
He's a top 5 guy anyways.
Yeah, for
If
sure.
you want to rank him in there.
Talking about Kevin Fiala, Nino Niederreiter, and others. Centering pass just missed. We were trying to find Tomaskevich busting in. Here's James with it now. James centers it. And back at the line, Hughes couldn't hold it this time. He was a magician a couple of times, both leading the goals.
Got no hands by the blue line, this guy.
Gerard moves in, centers it, bounces back to Hughes. Luke Hughes tried to chip that back in front, gets it right back. At the point is Truscott. Leaves it there for Hughes.
Truscott just, how do I get it to 43?
Tomaskevich shoots and fired that wide.
Not sure what to do, just get to 43.
Now Hughes retreats with Canuck bearing in on him. McCown back defending as well. As Canuck tries to flame out ahead, and Hughes knocks it out. Hard shot hammered wide by Ritzman. Depont had that knocked away and passed to John, has it back for Team USA. 7 to go here in the third period. Canuck comes in. So if you're Switzerland, you begin the tournament with Sweden and the United States.
Yeah, and
So realistically, you think, you know, they gave the Swedes a good run.
not expecting points out of either one of those games, really. You
Probably
want to
not.
play well. They did in the first game, maybe not quite as much this one.
Red Savage bounce that back. That was fired wide by McCown.
But now their tournament starts.
Right.
Germany, Austria.
Get yourself into the quarterfinals, and we saw it in 2010 in Saskatoon. They beat Russia on an overtime goal by Nino Niederreiter, knocked them out in the quarterfinals. We've seen them do it before at the Men's Worlds and the Olympics where they pull surprises.
And ideally, they could win the next two, get the 3 seed, and put themselves in the best possible spot for the best matchup you can, which will likely be Canada or Finland, so it's got to be tough no matter what.
But get yourself into a one-game shot with it.
Well, you talk about shortening a game, like give yourself an elimination situation. Never know what can happen.
Bordeleau plays out ahead. Here's Mazur back on it. Of course, the calculus in these tournaments is different. We have to be clear without the Russians in it.
Yeah. Because they had a 5th.
You put a 5th team now in the
contending
in the heavyweight because one of those 5 teams is going to finish 3rd.
Not right. One of those 5 teams not making the semis.
Right. At least one.
Right.
Bordeleau back across to Swigert. Drops it off to Bordeleau. Throws that back and front. Swigert couldn't get it on goal, and now it's moved back out by Dinicio, who plays for Niagara in the Ontario League. Team is sold in the offseason, and Wayne Gretzky's a minority owner of the Niagara team.
How many sports teams that guy owned, Gretz? Playing on lacrosse briefly.
Yeah. Used to own Gatineau in the Quebec League.
He used to own the Coyotes when I played there.
He used to own the Argos. Nice back for it. That's gloved down by Allensbach. Allensbach plays it back around. And away comes Cooley. Logan Cooley winding in, drops it back. Durant shoots, scores! Raleigh Durant snaps that home, and it's 7-1.
It's a goal in each game for Riley Durant at this tournament so far. A 4th-line guy, but showing he can get it done offensively.
It's his first time playing internationally for USA Hockey.
Which almost would be a tricky situation, walking in a room where everyone knows each other from these international tournaments, but cool little drop and go. And we talked about Slager getting in front of the net. Well, this time it's Nyes going in the front of the net.
Sure.
Not going to get a point on the play, but almost looked like it glanced off the top of his stick. But it was actually off the shoulder of the goaltender. And it took a while for the States to kind of get fully control this game, but they slowly but surely have pulled away, comfortably up 7-1. A lot of different guys contributing as well, which is good news. They haven't really always had a monster night. A bunch of guys chipping in with 1 or 2 points. Everyone will be feeling good about themselves. Score sheet healthy.
Long shot just wide up the end boards. Durant plays for Team USA head coach Nate Lehman at Providence College. He's a Boston 6th-round pick. Had 10 goals this year as a freshman at Providence.
Not too bad.
Faber back with it for Savage. Brad Savage drops it off, but the play's offside. (7-1), the U.S. leads here in the 3rd period.
This is way earlier.
Oh.
Come on in your living room. How's that feel?
Hello.
What's happening? I don't know what the nylon tastes like, but
Yeah,
can't imagine it's very good. Talk about going on the net. Chewing the mouth guard, not the nylon. He's going to be a good player.
Yep.
Slap drive.
Had 15 goals in 33 games as a freshman at Minnesota. Played in the Olympics.
The Leafs put a full court press on him.
Really wanted to turn
pro last spring.
Yep.
Get him in late, maybe playoffs, maybe not, but the Leafs are a team that need good players on entry-level deals, and that's what he could be for them. And so they, of course, support his decision to return to school, but kind of wish he wouldn't.
Gerard comes racing in, rolling puck. Feeds it back there, was knocked away by Delamont on the rebound. Was whacked high by Dominic James.
It's an interesting decision for a lot of the American kids who go to American universities. When to leave school. If they want to go chase their NHL career, virtually every single one of them is drafted. When is the right time? Now, you always have the option. If you play 4 full years and you don't sign with a team that drafted you, you get to become an unrestricted free agent and pick your spot.
Or if you graduate in 3 years, you're an unrestricted free agent that year.
In the third year, that's harder to do though.
Adam Fox, I think, did that. Accelerate the program. So the thing would be, like, I don't think anyone would, you know, when a player goes back for a second year, you support it, you're all good with it.
Yeah.
If they go back for the third year, now you're thinking, hang on a second, is he playing for leverage here? Now, the one thing is, if you do that, you know, the clock doesn't start ticking on you for quite a while.
And you're not getting paid for those third year.
And also, when you turn pro, you get to pick your team, yes, but you're still in an entry-level contract.
Short one, though, if you go at 22, it's only a year or two long, not 3 like entry level. So it's an interesting dynamic that American collegiate players have.
Yeah, so as opposed to junior players who, major junior players out of the CHL, who if they're not signed within 2 years, go back in the draft.
Right. It's a lot better to be a highly sought-after free agent.
All kinds of different rules. I mean, for example, if you're drafted out of the USHL, you can play in the American League as an 18-year-old.
Yep. If you're drafted out of college, you cannot.
And if you're drafted out of major junior, if you're junior aged, you can't play in the American League. Now, there were some rules that were bent because of COVID. And a penalty coming up, and this will be
Logan Cooley getting
going
caught.
off.
Can opener right there is
USA 18, minor penalty tripping.
it's a stick caught between the legs of the defenseman, and Switzerland trying to get one here late. So Nate Lehman, I think his team showed a lot. Patience and resilience here in this game. Just wearing out Switzerland. It wasn't an easy game offensively. It wasn't, slick 3-on-2s and 2-on-1s and breakaways. It was kind of grinding, cycling offensive zone goals, which are harder to create. They did a good job doing it.
You just saw the graphic. Switzerland 0 for 2 on the power play with no shots. If they're going to have any success in this tournament, they're going to have to be good on the power play. They're going to have to do something with the man advantage. 2 games tomorrow. Austria takes on Sweden at 2 o'clock Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, followed by Slovakia and Latvia at 6 o'clock Eastern. Latvia played Canada in its opener. Lost by a score of 5-2.
Pushed them, it was pretty close.
Yeah.
Never really got away from them. They talked about after the game, Canada wasn't that good. We were around them. We kind of had a bad few minutes, and that was it. So Canada decided to take that message and put up 11 on Slovakia.
Poor Slovakia took the brunt of that.
Could have just been a little more respectful in the post-game comments. And it's another game where Mberko has been fine, good,
not really
solid,
tested.
not really tested, not really sure where he's at. Which may be a good thing. You play 2 games and you haven't had to have your goalie really do too much.
The U.S. has Austria next on Saturday.
Another game that's going to be...
But then Sweden in a back-to-back on Sunday.
Right. And then into an elimination game beyond that.
That's where the rubber meets the road. So they'll finish the preliminary round on Sunday. They'll have Monday and Tuesday off before the quarterfinal.
Well, that last game got Canada, Finland in one group.
Team that's back in front. Richmond just missed on that. 30 seconds to go on the power play. Back at the point. Clock back in. Henry shoots. Yoel Henry, who has the Swiss goal in this game, has that deflect up and out.
For Mberko battling to the end. In a game like this, when you're shorthanded, 2 people care a lot about getting this penalty killed. One is the goalie.
And the other is in the box.
No, the penalty kill coach.
Okay.
The coach in charge of the PK despises garbage time penalty kill goals against, as do the goaltenders.
See that?
The positional players doesn't grate you quite as much.
Moved in by Barney. Gets ridden hard in the end boards. Final seconds now in his power play. That shot blocked in front by Truscott. 2 shots for Switzerland on that power play. Inside a minute to go now in the 3rd period. So the United States right now has outscored the opposition 12-2 in the tournament.
They look pretty good. I mean, you have to see a team really put them under a whole bunch of pressure.
Busting in is Bachler, and he's turned away by Umberco.
They have a lot of speed, and speed helps you score goals, but it also helps you defend. When you're engaged, as the U.S. can be, speed helps you close gaps, close off plays, and get it back quickly, so you don't have to play defense, because you're getting it back so quickly.
Keep going, move. Good, keep going.
So the bouncing puck at center ice. So time winding down here in the third period. And the United States runs its record all time at 22 wins and 2 ties against the Swiss. 7 straight wins for them. This one decisive, 7-1. Next up for Switzerland will be Germany. And the United States will take on Austria on Saturday.
Switzerland tried to keep it close like they did against Sweden, but the U.S. was just too much to handle. Some penalties got the best of them. And the United States, with their depth, really, just lean on you over and over and over until they eventually find ways to score goals. Lots of tip drill offense for them in this one. Lots of offense from the defense, as well as the U.S. rolled comfortably in the second half of the game.
Time now for the player of the game presentations, and then the national anthem of the defending gold medalists. Team USA trying to win back-to-back World Juniors for the first time in their country's history.